Good evening. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris White, along with Meteorologist Scotty Powell. I want to bring you up to date on the latest weather situation as it is beginning to unfold now in the early stages of our huge rain event, Scotty.
Yeah, Chris, the biggest story out of this event is going to be the heavy rain. Behind us, you can see one of the weather maps. So we thought Hurricane Joaquin may come into the factor. We'll talk a little bit about him later on, but he's not going to be as big factor as the heavy rain. Chris, this spells out some devastating flooding, possibly.
Possibly so. That is correct. This is the Weather Prediction Center's latest guidance on exactly what's going to pan out and what the National Weather Service thinks. And you can see western North Carolina through this swath of 8 to 10 inches of rain, locally higher amounts. This purple shading is, of course, the highest amount down here over to the south, and it's through the upstate and into those southern mountains. However, Scotty, we're watching a trend now as we go to the next map. You'll start to see this thing starting to shift a little further north.
That's right, Chris. So you can see this is the heaviest rain right now over central South Carolina. That's beginning to trend back northward. If you can actually see this little notch in western North Carolina, that's 10 to 15 inches of rain. Unfortunately, that's Burke, McDowell, Caldwell, Rutherford County in that area. So, Chris, we're thinking right now anywhere between 8 to 10, maybe 12 inches of rain throughout the duration of this storm.
Definitely a high impact event across not only the foothills, but the western Piedmont as well, all the way from Cleveland County up to Wilkes County, as you can expect 8 to 10 inches of rain there. There was a computer model showing, as we scrolled by it there, the computer model showing the flux of moisture coming in off the Atlantic. But it's actually, as we skip on to the next one now, this is a huge moisture plume that plumes all the way back to the Pacific Ocean. It's picking up moisture, Scotty, off of the Gulf of Mexico and into the Atlantic.
That's right, Chris. So for all you students who have been studying about weather, this is perfect El Nino. It's pulling in the moisture all the way from the Pacific Ocean and driving it up into the southeast. This is what we've been talking about with El Nino, and it's going to surge up to the Carolinas and then kind of stall out, and that's where we're going to see our heaviest rain. Joaquin over here in the Bahamas, he's just kind of sitting right there, Category 4 Hurricane Chris, but the good thing is it looks like he's not going to make impact on the Carolina coastline.
Yeah, so our models are now tracking this thing out to sea. We got a lot of good data come in last night, and we've taken this thing completely off the North Carolina coast and even shifting it a little further off to the east. Still one model showing this thing coming in at the Virginia-North Carolina border as a Category 2. I think we could pretty much dump that model, though, because the upper air just doesn't support that at this time.
That's right. So we're going to go back to our rainfall map, and we're talking about this being the heaviest thing. And with that, we've been promoting a disaster kit. I'm going to actually hand Chris the bag, and I'm going to show you what we need in that kit. Obviously, you need some water in your kit. We suggest 1 gallon of water, 2 gallons of water per person. So you want to make sure you have water. You want to make sure you have a manual can opener. If you have an electric one, no power, you can't get that canned food open. So you want to make sure you have that. Obviously, some soup or something of those sorts, easily prepared. You can have some warm meals and some ready meals for that. Also, your batteries and your flashlight. That way, if the power does go out, you have some sort of light to see where you're going, especially in those nighttime scenarios. Most importantly, you want to have some sort of device, a radio. This is a weather radio. Be able to tell you any watches, warnings that's taking place. Also gives us a great information so you can hear information from flooding in the county. And lastly, you want to take any medicines that you have. Make sure you have that with you. And you want to keep those cell phones charged, Chris, because that is going to most likely be the way of communicating.
It is, and with our app, you can download that. We can send you push notifications through the event, especially working with our partners in McDowell County and those folks up there being able to get that information out to you about road closures and stuff since. So this is a very volatile situation. I can't stress to you how important it is you take this seriously. It could rival anything that we have ever seen. The National Weather Service comparing it to a 1,000-year flood.
That's right. So make sure you're following us on our Facebook pages. Share that page with your family and friends. Make sure they get the latest information. Download that app. But most of all, stay safe out there. And just a good weekend to stay home and let all the weather ride out of here. And hopefully by next week, we'll start to see some sunshine.
For Foothills Weather Network, I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris White, along with Meteorologist Scotty Powell. Stay safe.